Hello, my name is Matthew Deptula, and welcome to my project proposal presentation. Okay, so what I want to do in this presentation, or what I want to do for this project, is I want to recreate the radio from the Portal franchise. You may or may not recognize it, but I want to recreate it, and it plays this very specific song over and over and again on a loop. And what I want to do is I want to turn that, and I want to make that a functioning radio, but it can also play that song. I'll get into the specifics in a second. So, the criteria. Can this gadget solve a problem that leads to product sustainability? So my overall answer was kind of yes. Thinking of like the materials. Most of the circuit components I'm using are, I didn't put it on the slide, but they're actually pretty sturdy because they're sort of like their own little modules, and it's all pin connectors, and it's not that hard to put together. And also, if I'm 3D printing it, usually 3D printed material isn't like the most sturdy thing ever, but it's pretty sturdy compared to what else you could get, and you can change the infill and all that. You probably shouldn't, but you can. And the only disadvantage is the 3D printer availability. Can I incorporate computer science? Obviously, it'll have circuitry and stuff, Arduinos. And the only thing I'm like on is if I can feasibly design and build it in the span of about 9 weeks. When I wrote this, I didn't feel like I 100% could, but now I'm a little bit more confident. I've been working on it. So, design matrix for generic concepts. So I went through about all these different variations of the radio. So do I want Bluetooth and MP3, FM radio? Do I want all of them? Do I only want one? And I ranked them on certain factors like price, functionality, complexity, efficiency, relevance. And overall, the one that came out on top was the MP3 and FM radio, which is what I'm going to create. So, design solution. Materials. I'm going to run through this pretty quick. The Arduino Uno is what I'm going to be using for the main central processing unit. I'm going to be using a TEA F767 radio module. I have it right here. Has a little antenna and a little circuit thing on it. And a SSD 1306 OLED display module. The size of this is subject to change based on the size of the design. A CYT 1100 rotary encoder knob. And one thing about this is compared to a normal potentiometer, I don't know if you can hear this. No, it's not coming through the mic, but it clicks. It does its measurements based on clicks a certain amount of times. Potentiometer is just a smooth movement, and it's not continuous either. This one also can push down, so I can add functionality with that. And finally, a MP3 player, DF player. You just put an SD card in it. It's pretty cool. So, other materials are stereo speakers, which I have not determined what to use for that yet, an LED indicator light, jumper wires, PLA filament, and various colored paints. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Diagrams include, I want to start with this 3 model here. I found it on Sketchfab by someone named Mr. Max, and it resembles what I want. I'm not going to use it, but I will utilize it for its measurements and stuff. So here you can see I just made a little quadrant diagram of it. And here's a circuit diagram. It actually doesn't include the FM radio, but I made this using Circuito.io, and it was a really useful tool. So glad to have that. These are all of the parts. This is the assembly diagram. So there's gonna be a base, a front panel, a cover piece. So the main part of it is gonna be in 2 pieces. Is the idea. We'll see how that works out. And I just added this little bit right here just to say the measurements. The idea is that it's about 1 foot wide, 7.5 inches tall, and 5.5 inches in thickness. We'll see how that turns out. I also took Mr. Max's measurements for this. For charts, here's my Scrum chart. So to do is all that. Doing, I'm currently obtaining circuit components and of course documenting, presenting the solution. And I have done the criteria, the timeline, the design sketches, and the circuit components. The timeline looks like this. The stick line in the middle is where we are right now. So I have a decent amount of time left to do this. So we'll see how it turns out, but so far I'm on track. And some credits and feedback I wanted to say were Asher told me about Circuito.io, which helped me create that circuit diagram. Mr. Vogt gave me resources. Mr. Chong gave me a heat gun, which didn't work out for what I wanted it for, but he still gave it to me. Ethan Miller was kind of there as I went along, providing feedback. And my dad gave me soldering tools and offered insight into functionality of the radio. Anyway, that's all I have. Thanks for watching.